So here I am in the car on my way home, and so what shall we talk about? So before we get started, let's roll up this window, at least this one. We'll leave that one down. Get some air in here, or actually leave the back ones and leave the front ones closed. Yay, we're playing Windows. More windows, more windows. So we have preseason football starting today, and we have the Cowboys versus the Cardinals. Ask me if I care. Do I care about this game? No. But do I think the Cardinals have a chance at beating the Cowboys?
No.
But I'm excited for football. One more week before I can start watching the Pats play some football. And we'll see what's going on there. But yeah, so preseason football has started. Sundays will start to be occupied by the TV. At least when the Pats play. I don't really follow a whole lot of football, to be honest. My sport of choice has to be boxing or MMA. We could talk about some MMA right now, but in all honesty, other than John Jones knocking the hell out of Comer, or Cormier, I should say, Daniel, which, you know, for those of you who get hung up on guys crying and feeling like, oh, look at him, such a weakling for crying, so get in the cage with him and go throw some blows and see where you're at, dude. He threw some good punches. You know, unlike any other sport, and I'm gonna poke at every one of you professional fucking football players who make excuses for dropping fucking a football on a clean grab, or always making excuses on why you lose and blaming somebody else. Go jump in the ring and do some MMA, because you know what? That bullshit pissant non-taking responsibilities for your own goddamn actions and failures and blaming somebody else for it, which most of you football players do anyways. Yeah, in MMA, you can't blame nobody when you get the shit knocked out of you. You lose. You blame yourself, because guess what? No one else is in there but you and the other guy, right? No easy excuses. So you know what? Yeah, he got bested, you know. It happens, you know. But did I think Daniel had a chance against John Jones to begin with? Not really. And having these, you know, I get it. For at least this time, it was a little bit different. He had the Daniel had the title this time, and Jones didn't. So Jones went and took it, right? And I get it. And there was a little bit of rivalry in there because, you know, I still don't think that Mr. Jones should have been allowed to go back into the UFC. It just promotes that they allow their drug problems to remain out there. But to each their own on that one. Now let's go into my favorite topic here. What's coming on this month? Mayweather versus Conor. Now, what do I think of that fight? Well, first off, up until Mayweather outboxed Pacquiao, which Pacquiao should be quitting boxing anytime soon now. I don't know how you walked into the 11th round of that fight, going into the 12th round, thinking you had a chance at winning that on the card. I would have swung for the fences instead of played like a pussy. Especially when you know you're going to lose. And the only way you can win is by knocking out your opponent. I would have swung for the fences, but you chose not to. Neither here nor there. I don't think he has the killer instinct anymore in Pacquiao's case, so that's why he lost. But up until that fight, I was definitely anti-Mayweather, but watching Mayweather work that fight and cut his corners and do smart boxing and imposing his will on his opponent really proved that that's why he's by far pound for pound fighter in boxing. Now, in Conor's case, here's what I think. I think he has an immense amount of power that gets constantly underestimated in fights. Look at everybody he's knocked out or knocked down or beat up or fought. Nobody walks away from Conor unscathed. Obviously, he's got reach and he's got height. He's got a lot of finesse and skill. And he has a good way of imposing his will onto his opponents. He gets inside their head, he does all that stuff. So I think it's really going to be a good one. I like both fighters. I'm personally going to put money on Conor for the win, simply because if he wins, the odds are astronomical against it. The odds are in your favor for a win, to make serious money. Now, that doesn't mean the odds are slanted that Vegas is saying Conor will win, because Vegas is not saying Conor will win. Mayweather is going to win according to Vegas, and that's why the money is slanted to Mayweather. How do I think Mayweather will lose? If Mayweather loses to Conor, how will it be? I'm gonna say probably it's gonna happen in the early rounds, 3 or 4, maybe even sooner. But I think if Conor McGregor can put Mayweather on his butt in the first round, not necessarily knock him out, but just get him down. And I think it'll come from the fact that Mayweather will underestimate his power. Being a boxer who transitioned to MMA, people hit harder with MMA gloves because they're lighter. But even those guys who hit really, really hard with MMA gloves, and they go back to regular 16-ounce sparring gloves, right? It still hurts. And it still hits hard. I'm one of those examples. I hit pretty damn hard with gloves on, and I hit even harder with boxing gloves on. So, unbeknownst power, I see where the power comes from. Being a southpaw, being a person with reach, he doesn't come crazy, he comes straight. You don't see it. You don't think there's any power behind it. When it connects, it puts you on your butt. You know, right? And I think that's where Mayweather may have a problem. Mayweather's never been hit really hard. He's been knocked down, he's been put off his feet, but that's because he's a counter fighter. He's going to be light on his feet, he's going to move around, he's going to slip and drive, and you can lose your balance. Does it mean that you get caught off balance? Yeah. You know, right? Did it put him in daze land? Not in a long time. Right? So you got to look at that as an aspect of fighting. I really think in Mayweather's case, he's going to be rich either way. Same with Conor, but Conor's hungry, and just like Mayweather, Mayweather loves money, and the only way Mayweather makes money is either promoting fights or being in fights, and the most money he can make is by being in the fight. So guess what he does? He gets in the fight, right? Conor, on the other hand, he's a scrappy, wily guy. He hits like a truck. My big concern for him is Mayweather may frustrate him, and out comes a freaking Muay Thai kick. It happens. Will it happen? Who knows? But I really do think that if it comes down to, if it's going to be a win on Conor's part, it's not going to be on the cards. It's going to be Conor ended the fight early by knocking Mayweather out, and I would think that would be spectacular. Not only would Mayweather's first loss be to a guy who's never boxed before, at least in a professional license capacity, gets beat by somebody, and maybe for once we'll put it to rest that a mixed martial artist or karate, you know, something other than boxing, or a martial artist can't beat a boxer in a boxing match. Right now, we all saw what Couture did to, I forget the guy's name, right? But yeah, remembering as a boxer, you only have to worry about 2 things, the right and the left. As an MMA fighter, you got to worry about the right, the left, the choke, the kick, the spinning heel kick, the back fist, all kinds of fun shit, right? There's a lot of weaponry involved in that kind of fighting. And I think if Mayweather best McGregor, Mayweather should actually pick up MMA. I mean, shit, he did fucking pro wrestling, for heaven's sakes, right? Not like that's really anything. Not to knock pro wrestling, there's a lot of athleticism involved. It's a stunt show. You know, or as I like to call it, it's a stunt show wrapped in a male soap opera that women like to watch. So it's a win-win. You know, and it's good money. It's good entertainment. That's what it is. You know, it's called wrestling, World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. You know, right? It's entertainment. Now, MMA is also entertainment, but it's really a sport. You know, if you call pro wrestling a sport, you're probably missing your front teeth, and you probably think that, you know, all the beefs are real and these guys don't hang out with each other and they all hate each other and want to kill each other. But I don't want to ruin the fantasy of wrestling. I grew up on it. So, you know, the days of Hogan and the original Undertakers and, you know, the guys that were doing stuff. But, so I've made it home, and if you like what you saw or heard today, leave a comment. If you want to give up a topic, leave a comment. I do actually take those topics seriously. And we will go post it. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.